Hi, Namaste. Welcome to ITTV. Today, our special guest, Mr. Arun Prasad, is with us. He is an HR leader with great experience, more than 20 years in HR. He is an expert in building global capability centers and scaling the global capability centers. So, with his knowledge and expertise, we will try to get the insights how to start a better career and how to scale up our career. And also, we will try to explore his inspiring journey. Hello, sir. Welcome to ITTV.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so glad and happy to be part of this interview.
So, how you started your journey, sir? Beginning from your education, where you studied, you studied from IIT or ISB kind of colleges, or what kind of colleges your education is done?
I'm from a very lower middle class family. My father was a supervisor in one of the yawning and dyeing cloth making organization in Tirupur. So his job is to kind of get across things and put across into a dyeing, get us a good bunions and other stuffs. That's
It
what
is
he does
from
it.
Karnataka.
It's he worked in Tamil Nadu.
Tamil.
So we followed him because he had transferred to one unit to another unit many times. So I'm basically from Bangalore, Karnataka, and my mother is from Karnataka as well. So my father and mother met and then they got married. But most of the time I was in south side of Tamil Nadu. As I said, I'm from a lower middle class. We always had, poverty at home generally, even for paying school fees or college fees wherever I studied. So it was my interest. I was a college topper. When I studied in an institute named JKK in South Tamil Nadu, and then it was my interest that I want to go into business management side because I felt that that will come better for me rather than an engineering. But initially, I was aiming for an engineering and become as like anybody a software engineer. But then twist and turn, my father passed away, and then I took an opportunity to lead my family. So me and my mother, and we went on taking up, which I went on taking up a college degree at that point in time for a BBA. And once that is done, then I did my XLRI MBA recently in 2011. So that's what. So I started my career as an HR executive, a very small consulting firm, a boutique one. And my job is to kind of speak to a candidate and get the candidate interested for a role and take up further for the interview process.
Is it an IT company?
This is a small consulting firm, sir. The firm works for companies like Satyam Computers, IBM, Accenture. That point in time in 2003-4, that's how I started with a small consulting as a recruiter, I would say.
So you started your journey after completing the MBA. You started your career in a very small. But shifting from that small company to MNCs is again big challenge. How you are able to achieve, how you are able to get that success.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much. So I always, wanted to kind of stay back, learn things, get expertise, and do the next thing. That is what my mantra is. Simple mantra, right? So I didn't go just, as like many of my other friends aim to get into a corporate, bigger organization within just 1 year, 2 year of consulting experience, but I didn't do it. I stayed in a consulting company for 6 years, which is too long for anybody to stay over. But what I did was I learned the art of how a money is getting made basis so many parameters, just not placing a candidate, but also working with the client, how to speak to them. It's like a 360-degree HR recruitment. So I learned that end to end, and I was so satisfied that I could probably go to the next level, and that's how I was looking out. So what I did was, sir, I'm a from a naturally I'm a never give up person. So whoever I worked with a client who are head of talent acquisitions, HRs, whenever I go and meet them, I always learn to discuss about what is the future of HR, future of recruitment, what technologies we can hire for, what niche things that I could probably take up. So generally, they started liking me, the way I propose myself or the way I, tell myself, and also I go back and deliver that. So that's how one of my guru, I call him his mentor guru. His name is Murlidhar Tapala. He's now running his own company, but that point in time he was working with Computer Science Corporation, and he moved into a company named Headstrong. So I joined him in Bangalore and he was the first person to give me a break to join a corporate company, which is a CMM level 5 services organization.
So here many people after starting their career, I am not getting the appreciation, I am not getting the salary hike, even from the HR side, even from the technology side, developers or testers, whoever. They will think like I'm not getting proper appreciation. So what is your message to
Okay.
them?
So it'll be, I understand that, generally at that kind of an experience, pat on the back, appreciation, kudos is very important. But I think I have kind of passed that age to have a self appreciation to me. I would say self motivation, self appreciation is the biggest key for anybody to learn, right? We all know we work hard, we deliver within the time. We see that manager is giving either a monetary benefit or at least sending out an email saying you have done a good job. It gives a lot of motivation and positivity around you. I think it is very important. I'm very sure that the leaders who are upcoming leaders or becoming leaders at this point in time, they know that that appreciation is a part of key to success to ensure that people are working. Hopefully things will change. But if you have seen that somebody is not getting motivated for the work they have done, I think better they shift for a different company who has the right managers within that.
So leadership can drive or overcome these kind of disappointments
Absolutely.
from their team.
Yeah, the right leader, if you choose the right managers, or probably as a student or the new joiner, you have to say upfront in your performance cycle or your monthly meetings that what motivates you, right? I ask my team members that what exactly motivates you. One person says money, another person says appreciation, another person says well-being, I want to work from home most of the time. So we need to kind of, it's not one size fits all, so it depends upon people to people. We try to give what is required. As a manager or a leader, it's very important for me.
So after you coming to this MNC company, definitely there will be in general people will think HR is a very cool job, but it will be the most challenging
It is,
thing
sir.
sometimes.
Yeah.
So how you adopted those challenges and proved yourself?
Thank you. Yeah, so it is a myth, not that everybody tells that HR is a cool job, but I have heard some of them, feel that way. But it is a very critical job in setting up the organization. And HR is the only job where every other department, what they do, what they really deliver, we have to be keeping everything updated. And we are the ones who are front face for any candidates. We are the one front face for even many other companies who see us. So we sell our company right to the candidate, the right job, the right skill set. So it's very painful. Many of the candidates don't know about some of the companies that we work for. So we have to put additional efforts to give them opportunity to learn from various things. We give them enough informations about the companies and all stuff. So it's a very hectic. I wouldn't say 9 to 5. It takes. I think in my career I worked. People say that Arun, you work a lot. I worked 15, 16 hours out of 24 hours to kind of derive, the right candidate experience in many ways. So yes, it's not an easy job for sure.
So how that passion came into the picture? Like people are worrying after their timings. Nobody in general want to work extra. So how you are able to keep your passion to work in such a level?
If you really like your job, if you feel that that's the job, that wherever the job you are in is the job that you want to pick up in your career, you will start liking it. Some people say that they don't like the organization but the job. Some people will say I love the organization but job is okay. Some people will say that my manager is my god, for him I will work. It depends upon people to people how they carry. But if some students or upcoming developers or anybody has a fire, has that interest, has that passion, interest in the job that they do, I think it will carry on, sir.
Handling the people, handling the conflicts within the teams, within the people, very challenging. So can you share with us some of the scenarios how you handled and overcome those?
Yeah, so many situations have come in my career. So just to let you know, in the last 15 16 years at least, I would have managed some 200 resources within me. And if I say that I never had a conflict within the team, it's difficult. It's not the right, it's not the truth that I would say. But see, I mean, as a leader, we always think that there is no one solution for any of the problems comes over. The situation may vary. What it takes is we are working as a team, right? The team growth or the team deliverables are very important for us. When these conflicts come over, we sit in a meeting room, we try to solve. And what I do is sometimes I do a mediating, work, or probably I'll be a listener. So either of this I would so I will love to listen more. And if there are three people getting conflict or two people getting conflict or how many ever, we want to have those open conversations and probably try to conclude if the situation is able to be solved. And then I probably give them information that yes, we have to go on, work as a team and try to close that off. There are some conflicts which was never getting closed. Obviously we will escalate that to our HR business partners, senior leaders, and try to sort that out. So both of the situation I've handled.
So after you become a leader in HR domain, so how you get the opportunity in building global capability centers?
Yeah. So one great opportunity that I got when I was just 4 years experience of my career, and as I said, I was very passionate from the beginning, and I joined my guru Murlidhar Atapala for a company named Headstrong. So this company gave me an immense experience to work for a client named Goldman Sachs, which is popular investment bank now. And they're also setting up, they have also set up their office in, recently in Hyderabad as well, a couple of years before. So, when I was working with the client, the CEO of Headstrong, the founders were able to recognize me because the positions which was open very, very long, aging at that point in time, I could close in just 1 month or 2 months time. So they were trying to understand what I am doing different from versus what it is. At the same time, there is an opportunity came in where they are setting up an operations in Singapore. They needed somebody to start Singapore capability center. So it was not just in India, but it was outside India. So they choose me that I will probably do a justice for the job. I went there, and that's my first experience. I was the first employee joining there. And after that, when I left, that company, it was 100 people that I've added into Singapore in our payroll, working in various other different clients. So I would probably say that the experience that I got is not just the basic of opening, starting up an office, but each and everything from signing an RFPs to getting the clients and getting that sign off for getting the candidates in from a Ministry of Manpower of Singapore. It was hell lot of hectic work, but I think we have sailed it off and did well.
So what is major difference in just starting a venture at new location or starting a global capability center? What would be the major differences in between?
Okay, so I wouldn't see much of major difference. It's just that what you probably want to bring as a global capability center. Some of the capability centers, the global ones, are technology only based or technology only oriented. Some of them, they want to build their shared services model in India, and some just want to probably have the office like they want to in UK or US. They want to move away from some projects where it is high cost location to a low cost. So it depends, what the organization really want. Uh, we call, companies like Infosys or their services organization, so they are adapting now. Generally, these organizations now also slightly, services, I mean to say, slightly fading out as a lot of global capability centers coming directly to India. Earlier, they were their clients, right? So now they are directly started coming out. So that is where the difference I would probably see.
So what is the potential in future, sir, in India? Like presently, how many global capable centers are available, are running at this point of time, and what would be the potential growth
Yeah, I
we
think
can expect?
absolutely. So I think close to like 1,500 global capability centers have been established till now in India. Maybe slightly more. I would say that's close to an number. And when we speak to our or try to understand the market intelligence report, so in next 5 years there will be another 1,300 capability centers will come over to India.
So India still has in a growth stage.
Yes, it is
Still potential.
absolutely. Yes, it is. I don't think so. See, I mean, we presently, if I have to go and look upon the job opportunities available just for a data engineer that we are hiring, there are 42,000 roles are available across India, I would say. And there is no dearth of the roles or opportunities, which is always there rotational. Yes, there are some companies who want to pause. And even if you understand from a student's or a candidate, experienced candidate mentality or an interest perspective, they only choose certain companies to work upon. They think that my top priority is first 10, first 20, first 30 companies. But there are quite a few, unnamed, untapped, organizations have come up. For example, Open Door have come up in India. Not many people know. There is a company called IQEQ has set up their global capability center in India. Not many candidates would be aware of. So likewise, there are many. So it's just slightly untapped. There are opportunities. So the candidates need to kind of do a lot of rigorous understanding of the market in choosing the
So
organizations.
who want to start the better career, it's their responsibility to
It is.
explore the opportunities.
Absolutely. And what works best for their and their career, just not go with the top 20 companies that everybody is talking about. Go for something which is challenging in their career.
So when we talk about the fresh graduates, recent times we are listening like very good packages for some of the people, ranges from 20 to 50 lakhs, even from the normal engineering college, like a state level colleges. And for some of the students, they are worrying, they are struggling to get even 3 lakh package on an average. So what would be the major challenge, why things happening in this way?
Okay. So organizations knows how to hire their candidates better in that way, basis the requirements. So generally, if I've also done, similar kind of on campus hiring in my career, I've paid, more than the normal that you probably said. But what attracts, us as an organization at that point in time is how the candidate is adaptable, how the candidate is critically thinking, how the candidate can move the career maybe in next 2 to 3 years rather than some normal tenure of 5 to 10 years. So we wanted, that fire in those certain candidates, and we feel that, while taking up the interviews, the way the candidate solves the problem whenever we are giving, for a coding test or something like that, and also the way they explain, to us, we understand that they have the real, they know, they understand the problem well, and they're able to bring that solutions up. So all this is a mix that I would say, thinking about future.
So even though if they may not be perform in the first year itself, in the long vision, it may work out in the better way.
It will, yeah. So my only suggestion is nowadays, from the school itself, it has to start, the capability, or the adaptability, or probably, understanding how even the coding works, can't just start, at the college level. You need to start. So
Even
one,
governments are also thinking to implement Python courses even from the 7th standard.
Absolutely. If somebody wants to take up their career in engineering, but see, I've heard, maybe it's not coming to my mind, but one of the college have started their curriculum specifically on how they want to bring their students, into an entrepreneurship mindset. They start that. They wanted hundreds of startups to come over from their campuses. The students pick that up. So we need to be different. We can't just teach the 4 years engineering course what we were teaching 15 years before. We need to kind of, evolve ourselves on how we.
But coming to the engineering colleges, all the faculty, what they teach is outdated subjects.
Yes.
Most of the times.
Yeah.
But the technology versions are changing day by day.
Correct.
So how to fill that gaps? That's a very big gap.
It is.
Actually.
It is.
The real time people who worked in companies, they cannot go and teach.
Yeah.
But the faculty who are teaching there in the engineering colleges, if they are not capable of working on real time projects, how they can train the students? Because this is the professional thing. With the theory, they cannot be survive.
Okay. So if I have to bring a technology example on it, the languages didn't change for so many years. We still use C++, we still use Java, Python, which is like pretty old language, we call as. That's the basic. So what your engineering faculty are teaching up is mostly the basic of courses. That's the first step. So if the students could able to understand that basic, how to program, then it is their adaptability of how they probably want to bring their next course of moving or transforming technologies coming up. And also, faculties also needs to kind of get themselves little upgraded, rather than teaching up. So the trainings are required for them. They need to be sent for some global universities and all. We need to invest in them. Government needs to look at investing in, specifically faculties of the engineering.
So basically, if the students and faculty, if their focus is strong on basics,
Yeah.
nothing to worry much about the updates.
Not. And yeah, so nowadays, when we are also interviewing students in our final third year, uh, the basic is the foundation. It's very important. But how a candidate can be very different from another, how they can carry themselves, those aspects are also we are saying up. How they speak, it's not the language, it's not English as a language. How they kind of convincingly speak. These are all very important nowadays to look at it. I think from the school or probably starting at the college, they're just not teaching. They need to kind of do an personality development. How to be pretty flexible in the changing of technology environment. Just don't go only with Java to read for the next 4 years. Do something different and try and see what it works up. But always take up what is an advanced technology of that particular year, and then work upon. Now that yesterday Gemini got released, now how many people, how many students, as we speak, would have gone there and looked upon. So whoever is looking probably can be understandable that the GPT world is going for 4, there will be 5, there will be 15 coming over. What is your readiness to understand is what we need to be thinking about.
So they have to update themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody can feed them. They have to feed by themselves, right? Always. So
You, with this experience, what do you see most in the fresher or fresh graduate?
okay, see, as I said, initially, I just want to repeat again. Two things is very common. One, critical thinking, right? I can't, because that's the only tool, or that's the only thing that an artificial intelligence cannot replace. So a candidate or a student, if he or she is able to be able to critically think some of the aspects and give a solutions, that's something that I would look for. Second is adaptability. Any new growing technology comes over in the organization, shouldn't say that, oh, I have been an expert in Java, I can't move my skill sets to an .NET. Just an example I'm giving. So the adaptability is very important as a growing technology or varying of technologies that we have. These are the two most skill set that I would probably
So
look for.
they has developed their mindset like, where are the puzzles to solve?
Yes. No, see, as we all speak that AI will replace us some point in time, and we will lose the jobs and all stuff. No, it's not the case. And that's why we always say that you think that AI is going to kind of be a friend for you to help you in enabling you to do the job better. Yes, there are few skills will get diminished, but at the same time, if 15 skills getting diminished, another 10 new skills will probably get birth. Nobody knows when GPT came. It came overnight. It flooded with a lot of changes, and people need to adapt, right? If who are interested to kind of go for. Nobody thought that there will be a position named prompt engineer will come over. This was overnight decision. Nobody knows what prompt engineer is. So at that point in time, I meant to say. So if there are 10 different roles goes off, another 5 will certainly come up, and you should be, or any candidate should be interested to adapt those skills and work upon.
So coming back to the industry, presently, how is the market scenario? Like, how is recruitment are going on?
Correct. I don't think so. Recruitment is stopping. It's just that it had a pause, in beginning of 2023 because of you would have probably heard about the layoffs news from bigger organizations comes over. That has impacted a little bit for a mid-size and further impacted to a smaller size organizations. But I think it got picked up in July, August in this year. It got picked up. I'm very sure we are talking about, when we speak in a forum, we're close to like another 200,000, 300,000 roles, jobs are going to come to India. Not just technology, but this is a mix of technology and other, non-technology and other businesses processes. So I don't see, at least for the next 2 years, there is a dearth of jobs coming over to India. And also many of the organizations, global organization or global capability centers are thinking about establishing in India. As I spoke that another 1,300 GCCs are going to come over to India. So they are going to bring more opportunities for Indians, and they feel that India is the go-to location for them, not just for the cost, but also, the cost thinking has been gone now. People 10 years before, they thought that India is the one location that we can save cost. It's no more cheaper. I would say our engineers are getting, some of the good engineers are getting better paid at this point in time. But what the people around, because I worked a couple of years in UK, couple in Singapore and Manila and all, people think that Indians are very strong in technologies. Indians are very strong in handling the pressure, handling those real time scenarios and critical problems. So that's where they are coming up. So our rate of people liking us to kind of hire is also going up.
So, what kind of a mindset is there globally about the Hyderabad infrastructure, weather, and the people, society? In your words.
Correct. So I can give you an example. When I joined this company, I joined, obviously, I had an interview in UK, and I was sitting in front of my manager, and same question he asked, that are you okay that we are starting an office in Hyderabad? I said, that's where you need to start, because you rightly said infrastructure, metro, the connectivity of the flyovers, our ministers, how they have kind of planned over to, within, I spoke to one of my ex-team member who stays in LB Nagar, comes to probably an high-tech city just in 1 hour time. It's impossible earlier, days 10 years, 15 years before. So that's the infrastructure strength that we have. It just that it is getting evolved for the global organizations to understand that we have that infrastructure, and they probably want to make their careers or getting their capability centers here. That is something we need to be very, very, very sure about, how we brand ourselves as a city, the beautiful city of Hyderabad, to get the projects in. So yes, we are progressing and we are very strong. I would say, and I'm very proud to say also that maybe in next 2 to 3 years, Hyderabad will be the number one city for any global capability centers to come over. It's already a safest city, number one safest city in India, as per the recent report, right?
Very happy to listen these words, exciting words.
Absolutely, sir. No, I don't belong to Hyderabad. I don't speak. I love Telugu as a language, but I can't speak. I can understand that a bit, but I'm proud that I'm here. I'm in a right place. And if any students who are listening, or engineers, they are listening over, or anybody, it matter that this is the place that you need to stay back. This is the place you need to look at how the organization want to build their organizations, like global organization, build their capability centers, GCCs, GSS. So I would say that stay back and watch out, and do start applying for an opportunity within Hyderabad. There are plenty, I would say.
So now one very important question for the fresh graduates. So most of the times we are seeing sometimes recession, sometimes very good opportunities. In the meantime, people are thinking like, now there is no opportunities, I will go to some other industry. Now there is a very good opportunities. Now I will quit that experience and I will start trying opportunities in IT industry. This kind of mindset many people, many students has. So if at all, if there is, even though if it is not recession, a little pauses happens sometimes at some point of the time in any year.
It will happen. Yeah.
So how they should think, what would be the right approach?
I think, again, I said adaptability, right? So as many candidates still feel that, okay, I want to work in big fours, I want to work in bigger organizations, I think they need to move on now. They need to look for smaller startups. They need to challenge themselves in working upon. It depends upon obviously individual to individual on the compensation. I can't really comment, because some people wants 6 lakhs, some people wants 2 lakhs, and they are okay with 2 lakhs, they're okay with 6 lakhs. But the immense learning, for any the small size industries or the startups that is coming over, try over there. Some of the candidates, or many of them, can trust them, try over there, learn that skill. How to start from scratch is the startup culture is all about teaching up, right? And if you feel that, okay, fine, that's something that you're probably not getting over, stay back, learn what you learned, and adapt, and try to change and until that transition period, you need to keep things moving for you. Learn as much as possible of what you want to do next, or you want to do next in your career. So that's something, it has to move on in your career to be adaptable in that way.
So rather than worrying about the future and taking the decisions rapidly, staying back and updating themselves will
It's
give
always
give
going
the
to help.
better
Yeah,
result.
it's always, see, some people will love to kind of start their career as they think, because they have planned that career 5 years before, which is okay. So they get that, they go for it. If somebody, like, I have never planned that I'll become an HR, though I was interested to do, I never planned. I was working in a smaller startup consulting firm, and then moved into, so I took some time to work upon. So there are people like me who takes time to being adaptable. There are very smart people who can move on very easily in their
So
career.
before closing, sir, the importance of a training in general, most of the times, what we think is after we getting the job, that's enough. They don't think that training is very much important. Adapting the new technology is very much important. Those kind of a mindset, some of the people are lacking. So, how important is the training, and how to get the training opportunities? How to approach the HR to get the better training opportunities? Because it is not easy to provide same kind of training opportunities to all the employees.
Yeah.
So, if someone who is proactive, he want to take an advantage of the trainings provided by the company. So, how to approach the management or a HR team and to take that advantage?
Absolutely. I think great question. Thank you, sir. About, so I would probably call as a learning rather than a training, a bit, because training is now classroom training. You sit there, and then somebody comes and trains, and you feel bored because that's not kind of really coming into your mind, and then go off. I would say learning, self learning is one, and then learning through experience, learning through a job, or probably a learning very particular skill set, right? So again, self learning is a best thing to do. You try to solve a same problem 5 times, and you will get an answer. This is self learning. If you probably want to approach in an organization, your first step is go to your manager, talk very openly of what exactly you want from a training or a learning perspective, and what you want to become. Make an case for you, make create a case. It's an objective, and with a scope, with some conclusion of what is that going to result for you as an individual, and will help the organization for their growth. Once that is done with your manager, if manager says that yes, there is a plan within 6 months we could do, give that respect and time to your manager, and then work it out a plan that can help you. Then the next step is going to your HR manager, and HR manager can guide you the exact L&D partner in the organization to either do a one-on-one training for you, or probably in classroom or a group training. So, and then the step is, if you understood it, if you want to kind of still pursue a certification or a course, that also the organization allows you. So it's a combination. Just that not one classroom training can make you a leader, right? It's a combination of many events that you
So
probably
rather
learn.
than waiting for the opportunities, if proactively, if they
You
approach
need
the
to.
managers and HRs, then
Absolutely.
definitely
Yeah.
the chances will increase.
We are doing a skill gap exercise, and for the internal employees, some employee we have hired probably would be interested to work on data science, and we hired data engineers. Now the data engineers are interested in next 6 months to become a data scientist. So there is a skill gap exercise that we do, and it's, as an HR, we have to do for sure, to make, or to ensure that the employees stay back with us, also interested to work on something which is coming up as a new technology. So you need to keep open discussion with your managers and your peers and your HR person of what you want to become. If you probably sit shy and don't talk and don't do anything, then probably it will take little time. You will still shine, but it'll take little time to kind of go and reach your goal. That's my suggestion.
So coming back to your experience during your tenure, these 20 years of great journey, you may receive a lot of appreciations, awards, achievements. Can you share some of those experiences?
Right. So I received an award just last month, and this is TOT Awards for a visionary leader perspective. And another one is again this leadership category, from an campus. that I visited recently and all. So very happy, very proud that when they call me and honor me those awards. But apart from these awards, apart from managers appreciating me, apart from anything that I get an appreciation from, the biggest appreciation is for me, my team feels that they are safe, they're happy, they're growing, and they're learning. That makes me a kind of biggest appreciation that I always get for. And I think I'm so lucky and touchwood that I'm still able to survive in this industry for so long,
So
managing
with
teams.
these words, you became a real people leader, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Very kind.
Now, at this point of time, what is your goal, or what are the major areas you are focusing to work
Right.
from now?
Yes. So what I'm doing, and what are probably what I am kind of learning, I would say, every day is a learning. I don't sleep without learning at least one new thing. That's something that I've kept myself as very important stuff. How some of the HR problems can be solved through an artificial intelligence, or how an HR problems or recruitment related issues can be solved through futuristic technologies that they can come over. So one of that is obviously VR, virtual reality, and I'm just for the last 2 days I'm assessing
For
recruits
recruitment.
for recruitment really, and how a virtual reality can bring a great candidate experience once if somebody comes to an office, but probably an global capability center office sits in US or in UK. The candidate who are fresher joining in the organization in India would never have that experience at all, at least to gain that experience. Putting a VR glasses and immersing into how the US office or a UK office looks, and play a real time team meetings and all stuff is going to kind of really give you. So we are thinking about that far, that how a VR or AR, augmented reality, can help the candidates to have a great candidate experience. So this is something I'm learning at this moment.
So we are wishing you will be the role model and going to be ahead and drive the industry. And we are wishing from the ITTV, sir. Thank you very much for sharing all the insights and experiences. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for inviting me. I'm so pleasurized, to meet you. I hope I'll meet you again. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.